Hi everybody and welcome to this day trade workshop. Today is October 3rd and in this workshop I'm going to show you a very little known dip buy and bottom reversal strategy that is incredibly low risk and incredibly profitable because it gets you in at the bottom of a dip or a reversal. It finds those levels and its accuracy is spot on. And this is probably the highest accuracy strategy that I know of. Okay, so I'm going to go over this. It's a little different. Nobody talks about this. So let's hit it. Today we traded 2 stocks and we made 3 trades across these 2 stocks. Each trade was really profitable, even though overall today the market was horrible. You can see the Dow was down 430 points, the Nasdaq 248, and the other 2 indexes that we watch were also very red. Not a good day overall on the market, but we were able to make some really good trades. This strategy has you reading volume. So let me start with SPRC. This is a stock that we traded during pre-market. This yellow bar shows where I posted the trade plan initially at 6:10 this morning my time, right here. And as you can see, the stock SPRC had made this little move from somewhere in the $3.60 range all the way up to $5.92. That's not a bad move. This line right here was an all-time high level, right? That's why I had that one marked. I gave my trade plan room these targets to watch for, and it had tagged this one at around 5:53, just before 6 o'clock this morning. So I had pulled down and pretty much holding this level right here at around 495-ish. And so the way this strategy works is I have my volume indicator down here in the lower section of my chart. What I look for on this, I totally am reading volume action. And what I'm looking for is I'll look at these red bars, these red volume bars, and I know they're hard to see kind of, but if you'll notice, I'm looking for the most recent red volume bar right here, and I'll draw a line across the top of that, and I'll wait for a green volume bar to break above that one. Okay, so that's what this white line here is. I drew across the top of this red volume bar, and the first bar to break above that is going to be my entry bar. That was this one. I actually didn't get in until this candle, the next candle, and this is a 1-minute chart. So I bought in my time at 6:39 a.m. this morning, and my entry price was $5.30 right here at this arrow. And I was just going to watch market structure, and that was a very strong candle, that first candle, and then I was going to take it to my all-time high line. After that, I would see how price action behaved, but I knew that this was going to be my target. I was going to be cautious through the previous high, which was also a major target on the daily. That was right around $5.96, and that candle that I entered on actually tagged that. But I stayed in the trade all the way up to $7.02. That's where I exited. I was in that trade from 6:39 a.m. my time to 6:44 a.m. So not very long, just a few minutes. And I made $1.72 per share on that trade, which just only took me like 5 or 6 minutes. And it was all based on volume action, right? So again, I was looking down here in this lower volume indicator. I drew a line across the most recent red bar, and I'm looking for a breach on the green bar above that, and that was this one. Actually, I could have got in on this candle right here at 6:38, but I got in a little bit later, 1 minute later on this next one. My entry was $5.30. And see how that was just a clean trend all the way up, okay? So let's look at the next one we worked with, BNOX, and this is a stock that we have been working with on and off on previous trade days. So we already had our targets on the chart for that. I actually got in on an earlier trade. I got in on this little move right here. So let me cover how that one worked. I heard it hitting the scanners a little earlier, right around 8:45 this morning, my time, which was in the $4.25 price range, and it was pulling back to support. And I had this purple dashed line, which was a support level that I had from a previous trade day, and I just keep my lines on chart when I put them on from previous days. I don't erase them. I'm basing my entries on the volume indicator down here. After it had pushed through this target, this purple line, this purple dashed line, we had a little bit of pullback. So we had some red bars down here. If you look at that, you can see that there were 2 red bars. I decided to go with this higher of the two. I could have gone with this one right here, but I went with the higher. I drew my line across that one, and I was going to wait for a green volume bar to break that. And here we had one, but I actually got in on the next one at 8:56 a.m. my time. And my entry price was $4.24, and I was going to monitor through this level and see how it treated that. And I started to see some little signs of weakness, meaning when I start to see little tails under the candles, that's showing a little bit of weakness there. So I ended up getting it out at $4.73 right here on this candle. It continued to push higher, but I was out. I just needed to see what it was going to do, find support or whatever. It pulled back, and as it's selling down, using this strategy, I'm watching the volume bars, okay? We had a pullback here. We had one green volume bar higher than this one, but I didn't get in on this one right here. Even though I had an arrow, a buy arrow and everything, I need my candle body to be above the target line that I had drawn here, because that's going to be a resistance level, and it was showing that as resistance. So I'm waiting for my candle body to hold above this level right here. So I didn't get in here because it was still below. Most of the body was below that. So again, I drew my white line. I found the most recent red bar. We had this one, but then we had a lower one. So I drew my line above that, right on the top of that red bar, and then I wait for a green bar to break that above it. And here we had that right here. And we had another buy signal. That's this little blue arrow, and everything looked good. So I got in on that one right there using this volume strategy, showing me, hey, it's going to take off and it's going to reach your target when you see this sort of pattern with your volume. So I got in on my third trade was at 9:24 a.m. my time. My entry price was $4.74, and my target was going to be $5.25. And as you can see, several minutes later, it reached that target perfectly, and it tagged that level again, and then it just started to sell down. I watched to see if it could set up with a green volume bar above my most recent red, and it just wasn't doing that, and it fell below the 50 EMA, which is this blue solid line. It just couldn't really recover that 50 EMA. So I just stayed out, and that was all I did, was those three trades. Overall, I made $2.72 per share on my three combined trades. So it was a good trade day. A really good trade day, even though the market was a big sell-off day overall across all the indexes. So that's how this volume strategy works. If you enter correctly, and it's really easy to do that, if you enter correctly using this strategy, you're not going to feel any moments of being in the red. It just is a continuous climb up when you're playing the volume strategy, and it works very, very well. It trends up, gets its target. You got to know your targets, and I give my members the targets well in advance. Again, BNOX was a stock that we had traded previously, so we didn't even have to draw our lines on here because they were on from a previous trade day. This is a great scalper strategy. It's a great day trade strategy. It's a great trend following strategy because it identifies the beginning of trends very early. You're going to be getting in at the most optimal entry price that there is. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you need any more help with your trading, if you want to get your charts set up like this, if you want a daily watch list, and if you want trade alerts and signals and all of that, consider joining my trade group at MomentumStockTraders.com, where we trade the most profitable stocks every single day. Our win rate is very high, and we have a lot of fun trading together. So go ahead and check it out. And if you have any other questions, let me know, and we'll talk soon.